second. Technical
We have
difficulties.
multiple cameras running at one time, so we have to see. Do you need glasses? Ha!
Yeah, I
Old
do.
people
Ah,
problem.
old people need
Old
glasses.
people problem.
Old people problem. There you go. So there we go. YouTube was asking something.
Right. Amazon, Spotify.
Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play went to YouTube now, so they changed up. So, and a few others that we haven't even heard of that we're on. So you can go just type in the Will Rogers Experiment podcast into Google, and all kinds of stuff will pop up on where you can get the show, where you can listen to it in your car, on your on your Apple iPod. Oh, those things are old, right? That's how old we are. iPods, right?
Old people.
So okay. But anyway, let's get to the meat.
Okay, so I've been in Maine for 2 weeks. I get to Maine 2 weeks ago.
What's going on in Maine?
Plattner signs everywhere. That was the discussion every place I went. People were like, this guy's going to win. I saw one Susan Collins signs. And signs don't vote, but that's what I saw.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, all of this stuff has come out about him.
Yeah.
He is the demagogue of the Democratic Party at this point for the working man.
Yeah.
How he got this far with this many issues clamoring behind him is problematic.
Yeah. Now I
But
want to
here's
play
the deal.
devil's advocate here. Okay.
He
Well,
is
let's
a
go
ma-
on with it.
Yeah, he is a supranational candidate.
Yeah.
Because this is
He is.
the far right always swings far left. It doesn't swing center.
Yeah.
So Labor decided to get back in the game, thank God.
Yeah.
But this is the first guy that was really attractive. And then there was a guy in Nebraska that I know, and then the guy that we got here. Those are the three. This is problematic for the Democratic Party
Yeah.
because it's too late in the game.
Too late in the game.
all
We
of
only got a
these,
few months.
all of these Labor guys are going to be whoever gets in. They're not going to vote for.
They're not going to vote.
And we are giving the Senate back to the Republicans. So it's called a Hobson's
Yeah.
choice. It's two
What
bad
happened?
choices
What happened? We have women coming out
Coming forward.
saying that.
that he sexually assaulted them. It's no longer he was inappropriate or that he was aggressive.
Now, do we have any proof of this? Any kind of evidence?
His old girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, gave an excellent interview, and she wasn't overly emotional and everything. As a lawyer, that's what you want your
Yeah.
client to look like, because if they look different, then everybody starts accusing them of stuff. It seems like there's stuff to it. The thing is that the Bernie folks would say is this always happens right before an election when our people appear to
So
win.
playing devil's advocate on
Right.
this.
Yeah,
This looks
not
does
our
this
views.
not-
We're just talking.
We're just
about
talking
politics.
here, looking at a different angle here.
Yeah.
Does this remind you of Al Franken in any way?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, but worse. Al Franken did theater stunts.
Yeah.
And
And
people
the
don't
weird thing
under-
was, when it came out later that that woman who was a conservative in the picture was privy to what was going on.
Right.
She was pretending to be
They're-
asleep so they could get the picture.
Yeah, there are theater pranks
It
that
was a
we do
theater
all
prank.
the time in theater.
And she came off like, oh, look at this. This is so horrible. And it was like she was in on it.
Yeah. So that's where everything goes south. And look, I am not saying that any
Yeah.
of this is right, wrong, or in between. I'm just looking at the political
Yeah,
consequences
political
of where we
consequences
are.
of this. So I get it. Hey,
This-
look, Democrats want to hold our people to the fire. We
Yeah.
we want to take the higher ground on something like this.
But we're fighting against the people who don't give
You
a
know,
shit.
well, look at Ken Paxton.
Right.
He's done probably way worse than
Right.
than
Well-
Planter ever had, and they're not going to get rid of
And
him.
they're not going to get. They hold.
Trump. There's a whole bunch of them.
It's
Oh, man,
all
we'll go
about
down the
power.
list.
The whole thing is
It's all about power and control.
And
And I'll tell you what, you get rid of Planter,
yeah,
and guess what?
Graham.
Graham Planter, right?
Shit, now I'm
I
mispronouncing
think
it.
it's Planter, isn't it? I don't know. The
Yeah.
guy from Maine, you
Mhm.
get rid of him, I'm gonna say right now,
Yeah.
Democrats don't take the Senate. Sucks the wind out of the sails,
No.
morale goes to shit, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
Republicans keep the Senate. They
Then-
may keep the House.
And
off
we're
of
bad
it.
again. Let me explain to you about Maine, and you don't have to agree with me. These
Yeah.
are just statistics. They used to be the least diverse state in the nation.
Wow.
Least diverse.
Least
It's like
diverse.
95% white people. You need to really hear this because this matters. Now they're the second least diverse in Vermont. Oddly enough, where Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders is from, is the least diverse.
Least diverse.
They don't have the same voting blocks we do.
Yeah.
Democrats up there are way different than they are here. When you go into restaurants, it's not people where you're going, I want to check their legal status. Everybody looks like us.
Everybody looks like me and you.
And so I'm not sure Maine.
What's going on with your?
I don't know. I'll check it. I'm not sure Maine people are going to agree. And that's who's electing him, not the national media. Broadcast failed. Well, let's
Oh no.
start again. See? It's a travesty. They are
There we go. We're gonna start this over on our Facebook
Okay,
Live.
Graham Plattner, so that's what we
Graham
were talking
Plattner.
about.
We're talking about that, starting this show again. Here we go,
And
right?
I'm just telling you the statistics on Maine, they are the second least diverse state in the nation. So they are not gonna agree with MSNBC in the way that we all
Yeah,
see Democratic politics in the
Yeah.
South.
No.
So don't be surprised if he stays in or
stays
some,
in.
because if they get rid of him, it's basically a guarantee that Susan Collins comes in because the paranoid Democrats will go,
Yeah.
you did this to Bernie, you did this to so-and-so, you
Yeah,
did this
it's
to
the
Kamala Harris."
workers and labor.
So,
You know, this
is
is
a
a
big,
pattern. You know,
big deal.
It's almost like
And I'm not-
like even Democrats don't like communism. They don't like socialism or communism because every time you get some labor guy in there, like
Right.
Trey Martin,
Right.
they don't vote for him.
but he got 43% of the vote in
There
3
you
weeks.
go. Yeah.
That matters. So look, I'm not sticking up for Graham Plattner or anything.
Yeah. I
He
mean,
shouldn't have run
if
for
he does
office
some
if he knew all
stuff, if
this
he had
stuff.
all this stuff that was going to come out.
Look, not everybody should run for office, but remember, the guy that ran against Larry Stein was a 10-time felon.
Yeah.
As a Republican, he brags about it. Go on his
Brags about
Go on
it.
his Facebook and listen to his stuff. He's like,
It
yeah,
works.
I'm the felon, the drunk, and the...
Well, it works.
He's using
It
it
works
as
for
an edge.
it works for Republicans
So-
to get the nastiest, most
Right.
amoral person to run because that's a fighter.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's somebody who just doesn't care and will
But-
fight these
Okay,
liberals.
but so
That's how they
there
see it.
is something to that where you go, if you've got a party that the head of the party has 30 felonies and does all this illegal stuff their entire
It's
life,
owning the
and
libs,
rich enough to
man,
do it,
because the libs will go
Because
on
the libs
about
won't
it.
do
They'll
anything.
own them, yeah.
right, and they won't do
They
anything.
won't
You
do
know,
anything.
they'll bitch, and you'll get
Own the
Schumer,
libs, they'll keep
and
the power,
Schumer
they'll
will
keep
write
the
a
control.
strongly worded letter and
John
hand it off.
Chrysler's editor.
So you
I
find,
know,
so
man, Jay.
I am in Oklahoma. The voter base was only 25% Democrat,
Yeah.
and we are now infighting.
Oh, and
just
out of
like the
that,
stuff
only
on the-
25% of them vote.
So let's chat about the Democratic Party next, who has always been problematic. The Democratic Party has been problematic because they don't win.
They don't.
That's why they're problematic. This year, finally had enough people running, a little bit of momentum, things are going good. And now there's an infight. And this was, look, I was involved because I said the former chair of the Democratic Party wasn't behind a candidate, and she was. And the reason I said that is I read her statement about the present chair,
Yeah.
and I thought she was talking about herself.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened, and I know that's hard to
His
believe,
bitch read it.
but I just misread it, and it's totally on me. But they are now wanting to recall the present chair over that. So here's the problem, and I don't want to focus on this too much
Yeah.
because it becomes a race deal rather than an election deal.
Yeah.
She spoke at the city elders. She is
Yeah.
a fan of Ryan Walters.
Yeah.
And right there,
Absolutely.
I'm not in. And I don't care what your race is, what you're doing, or anything
I don't
else.
care
I would
either.
be out on that. So what the actual election
This is about character.
Right.
Here.
Yeah. And look, I will give Aaron Brewer credit for saying no, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing that.
So we can't just say blue no matter who.
Yeah.
We can't.
Well, we
do it.
can't be sycophants like the right is. That's,
Yeah.
that's what the right does.
Yeah.
We're their sycophants.
Mhm.
That's what they do. We're going to
Yeah.
stick with this 34 count felon
Right.
who grabs women by the lady
Yeah,
parts
right.
and brags about it.
Yeah.
We're going to stick by that guy.
Yeah.
We
So-
can't be that. We can't be that team. That's why the planner
Yeah.
thing's so important.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
It
is.
is rough, man.
You know, that's rough. I get it. Hey, man, wow, what do you do? You know, I mean, you
What-
want to stick
so-
with principles, but then you don't want to lose anything.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Power's wicked.
I know where you go with
So then our local thing is this girl Kayla Baker, who's a Democrat that Brian Mullen got to run, and,
Yeah.
and Sue Arnold, I've heard was
that. Is she
heard
really
was
a
involved.
Democrat?
No.
No.
No, she had chamber money. She had a right wing guy that put out
Well,
flyers,
yeah.
and of course there was no contact, which is okay. That's where Mary Fallon got in trouble. They had contact with one of the PACs.
Nah, yeah.
Because it's hard not to. So this whole thing's going south, and then we find out that she's got contracts with the county.
No.
Her
my
last
God.
contract was $120,000, and then she ran for office, which canceled the contract. So she lost $120,000 contract, and I had paperwork on her husband's company, but I don't want to blame that guy until
Yeah.
we get to him, unless he's covering for her.
Yeah.
Then I'm drawing him into the fray. I got more information on them than scary. But look, the deal is I'm no fan of Jason Lowe. I don't like him.
Yeah.
But I would generally vote with him 80% of the
Yeah.
time. But the other 20, I absolutely would not.
You know, I would vote for Jason Lowe over that.
Right. Yeah, she's a plant. She's
The
literally a
woman
plant.
who's put in.
So Oklahoma County is really weird. So they put in this law in the state of Oklahoma called sovereignty deal, and so they can put a city manager in charge of the budget, or a county manager in charge of the budget instead of the budget board and the county commissioners.
Really?
So Brian Mullen is trying to get enough votes to vote out the budget board and have this sovereignty thing. But there's a play going from the Warrens. Rick Warren, who's court clerk, I think is the proper term.
Yeah.
His brother is running for office, and they would have 2 seats on the board, and you shouldn't have that either.
Didn't have that either.
Both of them are
Nepotism.
absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
So how do we solve it?
I don't know.
Yeah, just get Jason Lowe back in. It was a gerrymandered black district anyway. I mean, it literally is predominantly his folks. And then we need to get the lady on that is running for county treasurer.
Yeah.
I talked to her a couple of times, but we need to get her on that race. Butch Freeman is stepping down.
Yep.
And we need that vote for the budget board as well.
Well.
All right, I've rambled on.
Yeah, there we go. Let's talk about some other stuff.
Okay, I want to talk to can I do something
Go
real
ahead.
quick? Okay, just so you know, Kit and I are on social media a lot.
Lot.
So in the last 30 days, I had 614,000 interactions. All right, do you hear me? 614,000.
I have about 180,000.
We cannot answer back everything.
Can't answer everybody.
And we can't really care whether you agree or not.
Yeah.
We are doing our stuff as 2 older white guys that are liberals. And
We don't deny that either. We
And
talk
that's-
about that on the show.
and so we do our
2
stuff.
middle-aged white guys.
So if you don't like it, go start your own podcast.
There you go.
And see if you can get as many people.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
That's fair. That
Right.
sounds fair.
If you don't like it, do your own.
I mean,
don't
in the last 2 weeks, I gained almost 400 new
Right.
followers
Yeah.
and subscribers. So,
And I'm going to say who I think's a turd, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. I don't care.
I don't think we're losing any fans.
I'm not running for office ever again.
Yeah.
And then I had somebody go, "What's his company? We'll go attack his company."
Yeah, what the
Yeah,
hell,
how
man?
about that for those people?
Yeah.
I don't own that. I'm retired.
Retired.
So there's nothing to go after unless you want to come after me, which is what he had threats of. That's actually was both of us. They wanted to put us in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't say stuff
Put
like
box
that,
in the
Josh. We're
ground,
both
take away our microphones,
Yeah.
keep us from
First
saying
from-
talking.
we,
Hey, yeah, show fans.
Thank
People that,
democracy.
the thousands of people that watch and listen to us.
Yeah.
There's people out there there's people not only on the right, but
On the
obviously on the
left.
left,
Right.
who want to take away our rights to free speech,
right.
who want to put us in the ground,
Yeah.
murder us.
Right. And I will tell you.
Well, I mean, I get death threats all the time from people on the right, so it's no big deal.
Right, and we're used to that. And I got them from Ryan Walters fanatics and Chaya Rychek's fanatics. I hate getting them from people on the left because, look, we are going to react viscerally.
Yeah, okay.
That
I'm
means
gonna
we're
react
gonna-
to say, man. Listen,
You bring the popcorn to that show because I'm not allowing it. So
yeah, no.
whatever you want to do on that, I just wanted to cover it real quick
There
while
you
we're
go.
on here.
Okay.
Because, attack all you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I got nothing to lose. I'm just an
Yeah.
old dude. But that's the whole point of the podcast. We can say what no one else will say.
Yeah.
All right,
I
sorry.
want to go on with
was my
a few things
PSA.
that are happening across the state of
Mm.
Oklahoma. Is we
Okay.
got the data centers, the smelter that NOLA
Yes,
came
yes.
out and put that on hold
Yeah.
because a big huge stink about that.
It is a foreign country that would own that. People
Yeah, would
don't
own that.
understand. There's no one even to sue.
Yeah,
And Mike Macy's for it because Donald Trump told him to be.
because see,
Mike Macy's a punk.
only cares about what Trump wants. He
And he
doesn't
only-
care about the people of Oklahoma,
No.
and he's willing to tell you anything and promise everything. Hey, I'm going to be
Right.
tough. I'm going to be strong with law enforcement, but I'm also going to cut your property taxes so we can defund them
Yeah.
too at the same time.
Defund the schools.
So he likes to promise everything. He's over-promising, and that means he's going to absolutely under-deliver.
This guy, and if he gets in and James Taylor gets in, I believe there will be hundreds of thousands of people leaving the state because
Yeah.
that's the elimination of schools.
Yeah.
At that point,
Elimination of
public schools. Okay, will you explain the state
That's it.
questions and let's have a little talk
Okay,
about it.
state question. We got 2 state questions coming up in August.
August
And we'll
25th.
talk about them again, I hope, before we get there. There's 844 and 846.
Mhm.
844 is a voter ID law.
Yeah.
They want to have a voter ID law, which we already have in Oklahoma,
Right.
on voter ID. But here's the deal. They want to make it...
And it probably wasn't
What they
legal.
want, what they want is picture ID on there. But here's the deal, the caveat of this is, it doesn't say what the IDs will be or anything. It says, it leaves it up to the legislature to decide at a later point. So we don't know, so there's a whole bunch of gray area with the
Right.
state question, which is wild because state question 846, same thing. leaves it up to the legislature
Which
to
you can't
decide at
do
a later date.
Yeah.
And this is about property taxes. They talk about, 846 is about your property taxes,
Yeah.
giving exemptions and stuff like that. And then what it really has to do with is the reimbursement to counties and
Right.
municipalities, because what they did in 1986 was they gave a 5-year or 3-year moratorium when it comes to paying property taxes for manufacturing businesses that come in. Well, the state reimburses counties and municipalities for the loss of that.
Yeah.
So now they say, okay, well, that's in our state constitution. We want to change that to allow the legislature to decide what counties and municipalities will be reimbursed for.
And you can't do that. Look, our legislator is bought.
Yeah. But,
It's
but this is all to be decided by the legislator at a later date. So we're voting on stuff where we don't really know what the
And I don't
outcome's gonna
think
be
we're-
on either one of these
So if
bills.
we're not allowed to stick them with future bills, which is the way
Yeah.
it works,
Yeah,
why would we stick them with future?
Yeah.
If the legislature wants to do that, then they can do it.
they can do it.
Because they can put anything on the
Yeah.
ballot. It just takes I think it just takes a simple majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So they can do that. But that's what these two state questions do, and coming up in August, I'm probably gonna vote no on them.
I'm no on
just
those.
because, hey, we're talking about unknowns here. We're gonna vote for something that the legislature gets to decide on. We're basically voting to let the legislature decide these things at a later date.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's gonna happen in the end. There's a whole big
Let's not
unknown.
do that.
The other thing I
Yeah.
want to talk about is for northeastern and eastern Oklahoma, so the people watching and listening there, PSO has a rate increase that started July 1st. Now, they asked for a 15% increase, but thanks to our corporation commission just looking out for us, they only gave it an 11% increase. So you're gonna see an average monthly bill of $15 a month at 50,000
15 to
kilowatts.
50.
Yeah.
15 to 50.
So this is PSO rate increase that the Corporation Commission is allowing to go through, but they're looking out for us, Sean,
Yeah.
looking out for you guys in eastern Oklahoma, as they're only allowing them to do an 11% increase and not the 15 that they asked
Isn't
for.
that crazy?
Aren't they great guys? Oh my God, the Corporation Commission, but I guarantee you, since every one of them are Republicans on the Corporation Commission, guess what everybody's gonna do in eastern Oklahoma? They'll vote them back in office, because that's what those crazy people will do.
And those guys get their money from the people they regulate. How
Absolutely.
screwed up is that?
That's screwed
That's
up.
screwed up.
That's screwed up, man.
Ah.
That's just how that is. And the last thing I want to talk about,
Yep.
data centers,
Whew,
flock
and water.
cameras.
I went to
So-
a flock camera deal that the ACLU put on. I am a board member of the ACLU, so
All right.
the flock camera deal was great information, and they didn't articulate anything in an exaggerated fashion. What it's really about is flock cameras holding on to your information too
Yeah.
long.
One, not only that, but then they're talking about using AI and holding that data so they can project
Yeah, where you're
where
gonna
you're
be,
gonna be,
where you're gonna
what
be.
you're gonna do,
It's
how you're gonna
it's
do it.
literally true. So
And then there was a Supreme Court
Okay,
case
you
that
have
came
any-
out last Thursday, Supreme Court case, Fourth Amendment deal, because what they did was in Texas, there was a bank robbery.
Yeah.
And so the police gathered up everybody that was in that area's information and tracked everybody in that area, whether they were a criminal or not. Well, they got the criminal, we got the criminal though. Yeah, that's good, I got that. But what you
Did
did
they
was
get
you
away?
violated the Fourth Amendment rights of everybody else who isn't.
and flock cameras can sell off your info.
That's it. Well, you know what? I was told, like with War Acres, our police department has a non-competing
Yeah, good.
contract with them saying, hey, if you're gonna sell our data to like insurance companies, because see, listen, your insurance company wants Flock's
Yeah.
data so they can track you,
Yeah.
where you
Know where you're
drive, how
driving.
often you drive, how fast you're driving, where you're driving,
Yeah.
so that they can charge
Charge you more.
you for that.
Yeah.
And that's what insurance companies want. Well, War Acres has an agreement that says, hey, if you sell our data to a private entity,
Yeah.
we're not gonna use them anymore.
And how would we know if they sold it?
How would we know?
Right.
I don't know. There's a way, but see, Flock is a private company, guys.
Right.
They're private, so they could actually just go, well, you know, I think these insurance companies with all the money have way more money than these municipalities want and less regulations than what's to follow. So we'll just not share it with
Yeah.
police departments anymore, but we'll share it with Walmart, we'll share it with Home Depot, we'll share it with your insurance company, we'll share it with all these other private people. Hey, you want to know where your ex-wife's been? Why don't you give us a call? And if you got the money, we'll give you that data.
Terrible. All right, buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna go, guys. We'll see you Thanks for hanging around the Will Rogers Experiment podcast. Catch us on Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and of course, Sean's Facebook live feed and on my Facebook page as well. See you guys.